Welcome into the Kansas City Chiefs Report by Chat Sports. I'm your host, Harrison Graham, filming from home here on a Friday. A lot of coaching buzz going around. We already saw Mike Kafka leave for the Giants. We'll talk a little bit more about that in a moment. But first, let's talk about the offensive coordinator, Eric Bieniemy. Could he be heading to the New Orleans Saints? Well, they have requested an interview, and he will be interviewing with New Orleans at some point this weekend, I believe on Saturday, but it could happen today. We shall see. One of the final three NFL head coach jobs that is still open in this cycle. And like I mentioned, you already lost Mike Kafka. So if you lose Eric Bieniemy, then you have to replace your offensive coordinator and your quarterback's coach. Miami Dolphins, Houston Texans, New Orleans Saints. Those are the three openings in the NFL. 9 openings in the cycle. 6 have been filled. It appears that Bieniemy is only still in the mix in New Orleans, as Houston and Miami are pretty much down to their finalists. The Dolphins down to Kellen Moore and Mike McDaniel, and the Texans, Josh McCown and a couple of other guys down there. So we'll see what they end up doing. But as far as Bieniemy goes, we'll see how this interview goes. I've been rooting for him. I hope he gets a chance at some point. Obviously, would love for him to stay in Kansas City. But if the Saints offer him the gig, that's a hell of an opportunity to replace Sean Payton. Will Eric Bieniemy get the Saints job? Type Y for yes. Type N for no. Take a stab at this one. Let me know what you guys think down in the comments. If recent history tells us anything, the answer will unfortunately probably be no. All right, let's keep it moving here. Mike Kafka, I mentioned he is heading to New York to be the Giants offensive coordinator. They settled for Mike Kafka after swinging and missing on Ken Dorsey. He decided to stay in Buffalo. But Kafka's been a coach on the rise. Interviewed for the Eagles head coaching job last year. Andy Reid really likes him, and he served as this team's quarterbacks coach the past 4 years, and also was the passing game coordinator for the past year or two as well. And now, obviously, you got to hire a quarterbacks coach since Kafka is no longer here. Good for him. He deserves it. Like Bieniemy deserves a head coach, Mike Kafka deserves the opportunity to be an offensive coordinator somewhere, and that opportunity has come. He's been patient. I think he's been a little bit selective, and now he joins Brian Daboll in New York to try and get that offense going with Daniel Jones or perhaps another quarterback. We'll wait and see what happens there. Now, obviously, the one caveat is, what if Eric Bieniemy takes a job, then Kafka could have just gotten the promotion? Well, you can't afford to wait on these things, man. You just can't. When the Giants come calling and they say, hey, you're our guy, you just take it. And at the end of the day, even if you were going to have a chance to get promoted in Kansas City, Andy Reid still calls the plays. It's still his offense. So looks like he's going to get a chance to call plays in New York. Sure, Brian Daboll could decide to do that. But I believe the plan in New York was to not have Daboll call plays. So pretty good opportunity for Kafka. Obviously, for Kansas City, they will have to replace Kafka at the quarterback's coaching job position. And we have an interesting name that could replace him that we'll get to in just a moment. But first, shout out to BetUS for being with us all season long, our sportsbook partner. I made a lot of money this season betting on the NFL. I plan to make a lot of money on Super Bowl Sunday as well, and you should as well. Chatsports.com/ChiefsBet. Promo code Chiefs125. If you want to bet on the game itself, I like to get into some of the prop bets, but Rams 4.5-point favorites, over under between Cincinnati and Los Angeles at 48.5 points. I like the over. That's what I really like. I don't know who I like on the point spread just yet. It feels like Cincinnati is a team of destiny, as we all saw in the AFC Championship game, unfortunately, but the Rams are very good in their own right, so we'll see what happens. If you want to bet on this one or on some props or some other sporting games and events, chatsports.com/ChiefsBet. Promo code Chiefs125 to get a 125% deposit bonus. All right, a familiar name, Matt Nagy. Could the Chiefs bring back a familiar face, either as quarterbacks coach or offensive coordinator? If Bieniemy gets a head coaching job with the Saints, most likely, I'm not saying he's the favorite, but most likely compared to the other two openings, then they'll need an OC, at least in title as well. Things obviously did not work out for Nagy in Chicago. Got off to a good start in his first year, went 12-4, but could never get the offense rolling here. But we know that Matt Nagy and Andy Reid are close, so I think it's logical to think that Andy Reid would consider bringing back his former quarterbacks coach and offensive coordinator. You look at the Bears' offense under Nagy, it just didn't work, man. Year one was okay in 2018. That's when they went 12-4. But you guys see the numbers after that. Decent uptick in yardage in 2020, but it didn't really convert to more points that much. You look at the scoring offense again in 2018, top 10 there, but a lot of that Bears defense was really good under Vic Fangio. Never better than 22nd in scoring offense. So just not good enough after 2018, I should say. And quite frankly, Matt Nagy's reputation, at least publicly, is not good. It's in the gutter right now. Now, like, he has good leadership attributes. I think he's a guy that can be a valuable member of a coaching staff when there's an established quarterback in place. That was not the case in Chicago. That is the case here, obviously, with Patrick Mahomes. So a little bit different of a deal. But just know if you bring him in, the public perception of Nagy right now is not good because things did not work in Chicago. Should the Chiefs hire Matt Nagy? Bring him back. Type H for hire, type P for pass. I'm indifferent. I don't have a super strong opinion on this one. Let me know what you guys think in the comments section. Now, we know that Andy Reid has a lot of respect for Matt Nagy. I mean, they go back to Philadelphia. Nagy was on his staff for several years, obviously in Kansas City as well. These guys have known each other for a very, very long time. And I will say this. While Matt Nagy flamed out in Chicago, there are some good things about him. If he's not calling plays, he's fine. And that would not be the case in Kansas City. He would not call plays. So I think it could work. You bring back a guy that you trust. He can strictly work with the quarterbacks, even if he's the OC, as long as he's not calling plays on game days. That should be just fine. And I think Nagy's going to be a guy that a few years from now, hopefully he learns from his mistakes and his shortcomings in Chicago. And who knows, maybe he gets another chance to be a head coach someday. But I do think teams will have interest, either as a quarterbacks coach or an OC. I read a report that Detroit could bring him in as well. So that's pretty darn interesting. All right, if you guys want more Chiefs news and rumors videos, hit that subscribe button as we continue to grow here on the Chiefs Report. We're a few hundred subs away from 27,000. Do it for Rashad Fenton, number 27. Help us get there, and let's continue to grow this channel all off season long. All right, Eugene Fernetta, radio guy, posted this. Haven't found a corroborating source to confirm this, but this is out there. Look for former Jags defensive coordinator Joe Cullen to be named the Chiefs defensive line coach later today. As of now, I have not seen anything firm on that. Now, the former Chiefs defensive line coach Matt House left Kansas City for the LSU defensive coordinator job, so you need a D-line coach, but I've not seen anything concrete on Cullen, but that's a name to perhaps watch out for the defensive line coach position. And then right before we filmed, Adam Schefter tweeted this: former Bucs wide receiver. When I saw former Bucs, I was like, wait. And I was like, oh, Justin Watson signing with the Kansas City Chiefs, I assume on a futures deal. I looked up his stats. He's got like 23 career catches and a couple of touchdowns. So he's never really done anything, had 0 catches in 2021. So sounds like a training camp body to me. But if we hear more on that signing, we will let you know. Appreciate you guys for tuning in to today's Kansas City Chiefs Report. You can find me on Twitter and on Instagram at HGramNFL. Same handle for both, at HGramNFL. Love interacting with you guys on social media. So give me a follow over there. Hope everybody has a great and safe weekend. We will see you guys soon here on the Chiefs Report.